Hey guys, McSwearRoadToRoo.com. This video is for all you out there who heard about Bitcoin a while ago, uh, was told by somebody else that it wasn't worth anything, was told by somebody else that it was fiat money, was told by somebody else it was a Ponzi scheme, was told by somebody else it was in a bubble. You got advice from the wrong people, if you ask me. The world is changing. The entire way we do business is changing from secrecy to openness and transparency. That's why I'm excited about Bitcoin, the blockchain technologies. Uh, People will talk about the cryptocurrencies in the terms of Bitcoin because it was the first. It has been the most successful. It is doing a phenomenal job at changing the way people look at things. Had you believed in other people's, or had you done your own research, and it's not easy research because when I first heard about Bitcoin, I was like, no way, silver and gold are the only forms of money. But after a while, I did the research, and it did take a while to come to the understanding that Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are not anybody's liability. That's the big difference. There's no third party you have to rely on. Owning Bitcoin, you can walk around town in any place in the world and be your own bank. You are your own bank. You don't have to rely on Jamie Dimon and Steve Mnuchin and Janet Yellen and Mario Draghi or anybody else. You are your own bank. Massive, massive, massive empowerment of the people to end the corruption. Our biggest problem is in the world is these corrupt criminal banking enterprises that absolutely strip us of our wealth and our everything and control our lives, and this is a way out. Absolutely. So, had you done the critical thinking at the time you first heard about Bitcoin, you would have probably bought into Bitcoin right around here. 2012, 2013 at $1, was that? It's around $200. Right, probably right in here is when it first started hitting the news. So let's say 2013, Bitcoin was, hold on a second, let's see here. Bitcoin was $12 and it made this big jump over $100, and that was a big moment. And it hit the news, and that's when most people in the financial world had heard about Bitcoin. And it was a fleeting thought. It was no big deal. It went from 2013 to 2014. It was no big deal. And then all of a sudden it became a big deal with Mt. Gox, which was a ridiculous trading platform, but the only one available. So you didn't have to mine Bitcoin. You can buy it from somebody else's work. And then Bitcoin got to up around $1,100. And this was in December of 2013. And then, boom, a big controversy over Mt. Gox. They lost all their coins, blah, blah, blah. We all know the story. And Bitcoin died, and all the poo-pooers said, I told you so, I told you so. By June of 2014, it had gone from $1,100 down to $439. And then it, a little tiny jump back up to $600, and then it just died. So all the way from like June of 2014, it was just down, down, down until around September of 2000, probably June again of 2015. It started a new lease on life. And where it went to from there, it started slow in the 200s. I remember screaming to my readers when Bitcoin was hovering right around the low 200s, buy it, buy it, buy it, both hands, mortgage your house, mortgage your kids, everything. I was screaming. It was a screaming buy. There were changes going on in the Bitcoin community. There were new businesses being formed, and there was a new way to look at the cryptocurrencies. It wasn't just Bitcoin, it was Litecoin, and it was these companies being developed on the blockchain, and Ethereum was starting to be acted upon and things like that. And all of a sudden, it was a slow and steady rise. So we're at, in June of 2015, we were at 230 bucks, and it just slowly and steadily kept going up. I remember it hitting 400, and it just hovered there for a while. Then it went up to 600 and 750, and then it pulled back. And every time it pulls back, people say, "No, it's a bubble. I told you so." And then after a while, people got tired of hearing all the pundits say, "Oh no, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's a bubble." And all of a sudden, people said, "Hey, maybe these pullbacks are just another opportunity to get back in." And they started doing that, and all of a sudden, people who own Bitcoin and people who understood what it was started to think, hey, why am I selling when I get freaked out? Why don't I just hodl, H-O-D-L, hold on for dear life? And then you see the real jumps from 1,000 to up to 2,900. Then it fell back down on news. It's always on news. Some FUD, Fear, Uncertainty, and Doubt, is released. Jump back to 2,000. All of a sudden, bang, all the way up to 45,000, then back down again, and now we're hovering around 5,500. It broke 6,000. But just think of all the money you've lost listening to people say that Bitcoin was going to be nothing, and they're still out there writing articles and people saying, "Oh, you're crazy to get into Bitcoin." They've been saying it this whole time. This whole time they didn't understand that the world was changing. We do have a shot to remove the criminals that control our lives. And Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are that shot. And hopefully you guys have followed my videos. You've made significant investments in this. And no, we're not even close to the top. If Bitcoin fell back, if it gets cut in half again to $3,000, yes, I would still hold it. I would still buy it, along with the other cryptocurrencies. Now, the other cryptocurrencies are a little different animal because these are the businesses that are going to be, most of them, some of them, that will be replacing our old legacy economic system. And that's really exciting to me. Those are the Facebooks and the Amazons of the future and the Apple computers of the future. They're all on blockchain companies. Nobody can walk away. It's like in the early 1990s saying, "Oh, my business is fine. I'll never need the internet." Well, what happened? Everybody has to be on the internet, and you've seen business models collapse because of it. Great examples are the book business. All those bookstores and the record business. All those record stores that used to be around. Technology is displacing old legacy systems, and the longest legacy system has been money. But tokenization it's really like a form of barter. So a house builder really can trade with a bread maker if they tokenize their services. And so a house is 1,000 tokens, and you can buy a loaf of bread with 0.001 token of the house builder's tokenized business, that type of thing. It's kind of a form of barter in a strange way. It's not necessarily, there are cryptocurrencies as well. Bitcoin is obviously a cryptocurrency. Litecoin is obviously a faster and cheaper cryptocurrency. Hint, hint, hint. I still have grand expectations for Litecoin. I see it just like silver to gold. I think Litecoin will one day eclipse the price of Bitcoin. Yes, I know there's 84 million coins that can be made in Litecoin, 4 times as much, but the utility of something like Litecoin would blow away the utility of something like Bitcoin if our banks went away, or if they struggled, or if there were problems there. And I do think there will be at some point. So yes, Litecoin is the call, in my opinion. But we also have these other companies, and you can see them. They're all bouncing around. Bitcoin's up huge today, 7.7% for Bitcoin. That's gigantic. Remember, it's almost $100 billion market cap. So if it goes up 7%, it's going up 7.7%. It's going up. What is that? $7 billion. That's a big move for anything. And just a note on when people quote market cap, I hear people saying, "Oh my God, because the cryptocurrencies have 172 billion in market cap, that means 172 billion dollars went into cryptocurrencies and not into gold and silver." It's ridiculous. I mean, you got to think about what you're talking about. The market cap, all it is you take the total amount of shares out there, or circulating supply as it pertains to Bitcoin, and you times it by the last trade, not the amount of money that has gone in so far. So it could be one Bitcoin traded at $5,964, and you times that by 16,648,000 Bitcoin, and you come up with $99 billion. That's how a market cap in any market is determined. It doesn't mean the next trade could go for $6 million, and you'd have a $100 trillion market cap. But it could be just one Bitcoin. It's just the last trade. It doesn't mean $100 trillion went into the Bitcoin marketplace to buy Bitcoin. So people need to get their heads around what a market cap is. It could be more, it could be less. It could have been more money that has gone into Bitcoin with the amount of trades back and forth and things like that. But market cap, all it means is you take the last trade times the total supply, gives you a market cap. That's true for stocks, with bonds, with commodities, with silver, with gold. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean $172 billion went into the cryptocurrencies and didn't go into gold or silver. That's not the way the calculations work. Anyway, moving on a little bit. It's my pet peeve, because market cap is just the last trade. It could be one share, it could be 100 shares, it could be 16,648,000 shares. But the calculation is the last trade times the circulating supply. That makes sense? I hope. My buys right now, I'd say Amizigo's a screaming buy. If you think China and Asia are going to be supportive of the cryptocurrencies and are going to move everything they have to that world, Amizigo, I'm absolutely on board with Cliff's 30,000% rise in Amizigo, I think, by next year. So 30,000 times your investment. If you don't think it can happen, just look at Ethereum and look at Bitcoin, what they did when they first took off. I think Amizigo is going to be just like that. And then what else? I mean, on my radar is I'll have a private road article about some new salt announcements coming, and some have already been announced that are going to just drive salt through the roof. So everybody who sold their salt in the early days to make their 100% profit or whatever they're making are going to be kicking themselves, just like people kicked themselves when they sold Ethereum when it went from $10 to $15, and now it's at $300. Same thing going on with Salt, and Salt says they're still on track to offer up the crypto collateral-backed loans by the end of the year, and the end of the year is coming fast. We're almost in November, so a lot of exciting things with Salt. One of the more interesting things is that $25 retail price can be used when paying for part of the interest on your loan. That's where Salt extracts all the costs and can give it back to the members, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that one. But more on that in tomorrow's Friday road trip for private road members. Populous is still on a roll. It's up near $4. Everybody who's got their Road to Ruta subscription, they got their silver coin, and they got their one PPT token in a paper wallet. You're gonna be really happy about Populous in the by 2018 was when their product should be out there and available, and factoring invoices is big money for the banksters. So keep an eye on PPT. And there's Salt. Look at that, under $3. Hey, we're gonna be laughing at that one in 2018. But hey, if you don't understand it, don't invest in things you don't. This is one you hold. Salt is one you hold, because everybody's gonna be talking about it when those crypto loans are available. No credit needed. It's a perfect way to lend money, or lend to monetize your cryptocurrencies without paying tax, because you're not selling them. You're just using them as collateral. You get all the upside or the downside, but you get all the upside, and that's what that's why we hodl. All those hodlers will be real excited about Salt, because they can hodl while they use some cash out of their cryptocurrencies. Veritasium, the darling, the hidden treasure is under 60 bucks right now. You know, the sky's the limit for Veri. As Cliff's data says, governments will be running to Reggie Middleton, begging him to inject some Veritasium into their markets as the markets crumble, and because they're pure fraud. And, you know, you look at the stock market, the bond market, and high frequency trades. Do those trades even happen? No, they're never settled. They happen in milliseconds, and at the end of the day, 10 people own the same share of stock when the music stops, and the DTCC knows it. That's why they flooded the vault at 55 Water Street during Hurricane Sandy. They left the door wide open to flood it. They then pumped all the water out after 28 days, and then they set it on fire. That's how scared they are of people finding out that you know, you have a mining stock and you think it's in your name, but it's in 10 other people's names as well. And when that music stops, nobody's going to get anything. And it's the same with the stock market as far as Apple and, you know, Amazon, Google. All those shares of stock have been massively rehypothecated. And it really started in the 70s when they changed the rules in that the brokerage companies didn't have to put stocks in their client's name. They got the cash and they put it in their pool. Then you can use their cash to lend it out or place side bets, whatever they wanted to do. But it was a pooling type of arrangement where because they get so many buys and so many sells of the same stock, the SEC said, oh, you could just net all the transactions at the end of the day. But they can't even do that. Over 300 million shares are called FTDs, failure to deliver, every single day. So yes, that's why the old system is crumbling. That's why they're going to need something like Veritasium, which is a peer-to-peer exchange. There's no need for a broker, a dealer, JP Morgan, or Fidelity, or any of that. It's peer-to-peer, person to person. You have an asset, and I want to pay for it and make that asset mine. It gets rid of the DTCC as well, which is awesome. And then there's a whole bunch. Some are like getting dumped right here, down 30% ATM chain. But see, it went up like 100% here, and then they get dumped. I mean, there's manipulation, there's fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's all kinds of things going on in the markets right now. But now you just sit and hold. Make your bets and hold. Even if it goes up. Unless you're a trader. You know, not trader. Unless you trade these things. Then you want to, you know, sell at the high and buy at the low. And if you can figure that out, good on you. I would suggest for the 99% of the population, just expect to go through the highs and the lows. And if you wait it out, you close your eyes, you open them again in 6 months, the world will be very different. And you open them in 6 years, you'll be the richest man on your block. Because the world is changing, the economy is changing, the economic system, the monetary system is all changing to blockchain technology. And the big money wants in, but they will only buy when these things get slammed, so they start to slam. But more and more people are figuring out that that's how the game is being played. Anyway, just a big swear note from the Bitcoin price and those who got... Remember, every time you hear anything bad about blockchain or Bitcoin, all you got to ask the person who's telling you is this: how did that position, how did your understanding work out for you over the past 7 years? Was it good to have that understanding, or was it bad to have that understanding? And if you show them this graph of what has happened to Bitcoin over the last 9 years, clearly they have been wrong, and they should admit to you that they never should have posted those articles or written or had that position and told people to stay away from Bitcoin 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, because it costs you a lot of money. This is Big Swear, roadtoroad.com. I'll talk to you later.